What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Nash, and in this video I'm going to be talking about my process of getting into business consulting for one of the big four consulting firms. Now, this is going to work for any other service line. Maybe you want to get into audit, it's the same thing. I'm only using business consulting because that is what I do, that is my service line. But to break this down, there are two ways of getting into a big four firm, right? So the first way is going to be as an entry-level professional. So this is going to relate to college students, right? So if you are a college student, you get recruited or you apply your senior year of college and you're going to get in as an entry-level professional, right? So one of the disadvantages when it comes to this is going to be that it is very competitive, right? Imagine you're about to graduate and a lot of people want to work at the big four firms. So it's going to be a lot of applications during that time and it's very competitive. So I did not do that. I went the other route, which is going to be the experienced professional route, right? So this is when you graduate from college and you go to work for somebody else and you get about 2 years of work experience and then you apply to one of the big four firms. Now you're gonna get in as an experienced professional, right? Because you already have some real life work experience. Now, the only advantage to this, I believe, is gonna be that you get in at a higher rank, which means you get paid more money. All right, so now as for the application process, this might be different for someone else. It's not gonna be the same as mine, but I wanted to share mine with you guys. So what I did was after the 2 years, I decided it was time to go into the big four. I went ahead and sent in 3 applications to 3 different audit positions that I found on LinkedIn. I use LinkedIn to do a lot of my job applications. I think I've only used LinkedIn to get for the jobs that I actually got. But I sent in 3 different applications to 3 different audit jobs, right? And then after 2 days, I received a call from a recruiter, and they were kind of like, that's when you do the phone screening interview, right? Kind of like when they talk about, why are you leaving your job? They ask about a couple of things on your resume. They ask about your goals and things like that, right? So an interesting thing actually happened is I was on the phone, they were explaining what these audit positions were, and I was like, huh. And then I was like, I don't think this is what I want to get into, but I didn't say that out loud. But then they were saying that looking at your resume, it looks like you might excel in this position instead, which was actually financial services risk management. And I didn't know that existed. And a side note is that if you're going to be going into these big four firms, you got to realize that these are global companies, right? That have a lot of positions, and a lot of positions aren't necessarily what they are at other companies, right? So if it's audit, it's way more complex and it has these different layers that go into it. So it's always helpful to talk to a recruiter and kind of like get their insights, and not have your mind set on one thing. Like, I want to do this, that's the only thing I want to do. So I applied to 3 different audit positions. The recruiter was like, I think you can excel in finance, right? Because it aligns with your college degree, it aligns with your work experience that you've done over the past 2 years, and a couple other reasons as well, which is what I actually ended up going with. So after that, the recruiter was able to send me another application to that specific financial services risk management position. I filled that up quickly and I sent it back, and I had to wait 2 days. So after 2 days, I got an email, requesting interviews. So I had to do 2 different interviews with 2 different managers that were going to be managing me. So the interview questions were pretty simple. They were kind of like, I think it's different when you take someone who's experienced to someone who is an entry level. As an entry level, you're gonna have to do a lot of things like case studies and things like that. But as an experienced professional, you don't have to do that, right? Because you already have the work experience. So, some of the questions were tailored to, or most of the questions were tailored to your previous work experience and how you can bring that to the big four, right? And how you're gonna apply that to your job. And, some technical questions and things like that, questions about leadership, working in teams, because in consulting, you're always working with the team. So that's kind of like the things they focus on to see that you actually have that. And one tip is that whenever you go through the screening process, right? The screening process with a recruiter is essentially to pick the people that are going to be the best candidates. So if you make it to an actual interview, you've made it halfway. That is halfway, because if you fail the screening process, you don't even get to make it to the interview process. So if you make it to the interview process, you're doing something right. So each interview was about 30 minutes, and then I had like a 15-minute break and had another interview for another 30 minutes. All right, so after the interviews, I waited for, I believe, 2 to 3 days, and I heard back from the recruiter saying that, they liked my interview and they're going to be extending an offer. Then I had to wait, I think, another day to actually get the offer letter. And once I got the offer letter, I read the entire thing, accepted it, and sent it back. And that was my entire process of getting into business consulting for one of the big four consulting firms. As you can see, this took about a week, I believe. Let me know if you guys have anything else, if you want to add anything else to this, or if you have any questions, put them down in the comment section below. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure to go and hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.